Yo, you already know who it is. Price, Rob, BrahMigos Podcast. Back, weekly episode. And today, we must talk to y'all. NBA trade. Cat, we got to talk Cat to New York. ALDS, NLDS, how do you feel about this so far? Top 25 college football team feel like they just died off yesterday. Okay? We got to talk LeBron and Bronny, how we really feel about this. And we're going to close the show talking a little bit about our favorite WWE moments. And that's all here today. BrahMigos Podcast. Let's go ahead and hit that music.
Hit that music right now, my brother.
Rob. Rob, before we get into things, I just want to remind the people at home, like, comment, subscribe. Remember, we do have a W code for you guys because you got to bring the flow. You got to bring the energy like we do every Sunday. Code BrahMigosPod, 10% off your W. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. But NBA talk, Cat to New York.
Yep.
Rob, I saw this and I understand why. The money, the money part of it. Okay. But I feel like you traded Cat for a lesser version of him and Julius Randle. Okay. But what it really boils down to is you couldn't get up off of that Rudy Gobert contract right now. Okay. And you had Cat locked for 4 more years, and you don't know if this is exactly going to be him. I understand. To me, they just told Ant-Man, this is your team now.
Oh, yeah.
This is 100% your team. Hey, take this. It's him, Julius, Rudy. I don't know how this is going to work out, though. But I will say this. From what I've been reading and what I've been watching, this was a hell of a play for New York. You got Cat. I want to say they got Mikal Bridges now. And as of last night, I was reading the rumors because Marcus Smart is no longer going to be in Memphis, that New York could be looking to pick up Marcus Smart to put him out there in New York. New York is looking like they might be causing some static, bro. They really look like they could cause some static and shake up the NBA this season. It's gonna be one of those things where I think this is a new environment for Cat. I won't lie. Some of you Minnesota fans were haters because y'all have never liked Cat. And I think that this all stems from having KG as one of your big men. He's not aggressive like KG, and I think that shit bothers a lot of y'all. And I understand. I totally understand. But it was too much hateration and holleration over there in Minnesota for that man, so he had to get up out that pizzeria. But what do you think?
So first of all, I think it's a trade that I feel like is reasonable. And I think that with what they've added with Mikal Bridges, possibly Marcus Smart, I guess now, Jalen Brunson now coming into another year, I think that, yeah, and I mean, it makes sense for them. What I would say is I'm not optimistic that this is going to actually give them much help, though. Because the thing is, Cat has superstar talent with role player mindset. And not even like good role player mindset. It's like, I'm just here mindset. Like, I'm just basically here to do my thing. But he's not somebody you could trust on. He's not somebody that you can go to and say like, all right, Cat, I need you to get us out this game. I need you to pull this out the jaws of defeat. He is going to be like, well, the jaws is really tight. And so I don't know if my hands can really grip the jaws and really pull that defeat out so we can get some victory. You know, I don't think basically he is somebody that you can trust on to be that superstar. So that's the problem with the trade. Or let me not say the problem with the trade. If you're trusting him to be that superstar, that's the problem with the trade. If you're basically like, hey, Jalen Brunson, here's some help So the load doesn't have to be on you. This is not that. Maybe for 46 minutes of the game, but not necessarily when it counts, because Cat is not there. Cat is not that guy, and Cat tries to talk like that guy, but he's not that dude. And this is not something that I'm like, this is something wrong with him. I'm thinking that this is just who this guy is. And when it comes to the amount of talent that he had, where he was with Minnesota, replacing not just KG, but Kevin Love, who was beloved up there, pun intended.
Yeah.
He was basically the guy to be that next superstar that was going to pull them up and make them a perennial powerhouse. That didn't happen until they essentially got Rudy Gobert. And whether you say like, hey, the Rudy Gobert contract and the trade being like such an albatross, which I could somewhat agree with, but it was something that basically Cat was not the dude to make you a great team. Cat was the dude to basically go out there and get stats and look good. And so now that basically it's a little bit different, and now that basically things are going to be to where, okay, now he's going to be surrounded by some cats. I think maybe it might work out, but I'm not hopeful that they're going to get any better than what they were last year.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Now, what I will say is, it's going to be, right? I just edited this out.
Sorry about that.
Now, what I will say is this. Whenever I look at the new construction of how this team is, there's a couple things that come to my mind. It's a mix of that kind of 90s Knicks team with another big now in Patrick Ewing, which I feel like they kind of had that with Julius Randle. Cat is just a bigger body. And now you got a little bit more grit out there with a 3-and-D guy like Mikal Bridges. And I feel like if you do go the route and you put in Marcus Smart to go with Jalen Brunson, I feel like now you will have a very gritty team that I feel like they're going to fight and they're going to play defense more. I think this might be a good move for Cat, like removing him from Minnesota and putting him in a place where I think giving him Jalen Brunson is going to make him believe more in himself. I'm not going to say Ant-Man never said that he wasn't good, but I feel like Cat knew I'm not the superstar here no more. You know, I'm not that dude. The young guy came in, he done kind of took my thunder with his athleticism and his play and this, that, and the other, which is true because he got nothing but heart, dog. He tries to leave it on the floor. And I really like that about him.
Yeah, and I think but the thing with Edwards that he didn't really take the team. Cat didn't seem like he wanted it. It was like there's Anthony Edwards filled a void more than anything. Like this is not like with Cat and Anthony Edwards. It was not a Shaq and D Wade kind of thing where Shaq's like, "Hey man, I'm the 3-time NBA Finals MVP. I'm top 50 player all time, but I'm gonna abdicate to you, you new young comer." No, it was, "Hey man, look, I've been looking for somebody to take this. Thank you. Please take this from me." That's what Cat was. Cat could have been the superstar of that team. Had every opportunity to be the superstar of that team, but nutted up consistently. Did not do the things to be the superstar of that team and take that team somewhere. That's been the indelible mark. And to go back to the point, now that basically he's back with Thibs, who basically brought in Jimmy Butler to toughen up that team, and Cat meowed away and basically did not do, and basically like, he just basically, he tucked his tail for all intents and purposes. He basically was like, "I don't like this. Get both of these cats out of here," pun intended. And so that's why I'm saying, like, yes, they're going to be, if they're, they get Marcus Smart, they get more other players, they're going to be grittier, but not with this dude. If this dude can basically just, all right, you're going to be a scorer, you toughen up a little bit more, all right, cool. They'll make it work out. But I am not optimistic that that's going to happen. I'm really not.
Definitely see why you're not optimistic about it. But the future will tell the tale on that. We will see.
Absolutely.
But let us switch a little gear and we gonna talk a little baseball. ALDS, NLDS. You know, me and Rob made predictions. We had cards. We corrected cards.
Yep.
Some of y'all, well, these ain't right. We knew about the cards, okay?
Sorry.
And we went back and corrected the cards. Yes, so
we can't just record all the time and basically have the most current information. Some of this stuff is screwy. Like, get out.
Yeah.
Get life. Leave me alone.
But what I will say is this. Let's start. Look, it's one particular side we're gonna start on.
Absolutely.
I know Rob wants to go in, okay?
Let's go.
We're gonna start on the ALDS side of how things worked out, and then we'll get over to the other side on the NLDS. But Rob, go ahead, because I know that you got a grievance with a team.
Frauds! You, Baltimore, you are frauds. Fraudulent. F-R-A, fraudulent. All of you. You folk. Frauds. You people. One run. Me. Nate. How many runs did we score in the ALDS? How many? How many, Nate?
None.
But they scored only one more than we did in the ALDS. No, to get to the ALDS, excuse me, they're in the wild card. That's all they did. Nothing. Orioles. You were the St. Louis Browns at one time. I'm wearing a Cardinals shirt. You want to know why you're not there no more? You want to know why you lost the 1944 or whatever it was World Series against the Cardinals? Your Midtown rival. You are fraudulent. That's why you were the Browns, and now you're the Browns of the new day. You're the Browns. You're more like Cleveland Browns. You know what? That's what you are. Yeah, I finally found it out. I figured it out. You guys are brown frauds. Fraudulently out here. I cannot believe I'm even fixing my voice, fixing these lips to go talk to you people, and pointing that you are frauds. Boo, raw dudes. I don't like y'all. Y'all all the talent in the world. What should I do? Only scored one run against the Orioles. Only at your crib.
No, against Kansas City. At Kansas City.
There we go.
At Kansas City.
No, they were in Baltimore. They were in Baltimore.
Yeah, they were in Baltimore.
Yeah.
They were in Baltimore.
But against Kansas City. One. Y'all got a team full of number one prospects, all the shit in the world. And what y'all do? Nothing. I don't fuck with y'all no more. Frauds. Frauds.
Look, as you can clearly see, Orioles, Rob has a very serious vendetta against y'all, and I do too. We had both picked y'all. Rob had y'all going to the World Series. I had y'all making the ALCS. I don't know how y'all let this happen.
I know him.
No,
because we shouldn't have believed in them. We shouldn't have believed in them. There was no reason for us to believe. None.
But it was so appetizing. It was so appetizing. Rob, they had all of the talent. And I was like, they look good. And I was like, they could win this. They could turn this around.
This could be it.
I was like, it was good.
Frauds.
Y'all heard us. Y'all heard us on that.
Bad.
But Kansas City came out, and right now they're down 1-0 to the Yankees right now, who we thought wouldn't make it out of this round. But we'll see. It's early. We'll see how this plays out. Now at the top of the bracket.
Yep.
Look here. Mm-hmm. Me and Rob had no faith in Detroit y'all to make it up.
Who said?
And you know what, Rob? The reverse happened because we had the Orioles going further and Detroit going out immediately. And Detroit just was like, nope, I'm going to make it this round. And they made it, but they're also down 1-0 to Cleveland right now. I feel like I said, I got Cleveland going further. Hopefully Yankees don't make it out. I wouldn't mind seeing Cleveland play Kansas City and then Cleveland make it to the World Series.
Right.
That's what I'm hoping for. But let's talk about the NL side of things. There's a certain person who we both know.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're going to harp on some of his losses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, our good friend Jarvis. Jarvis, I hope that you watch this part of the episode. I will have this marked and I will tell you exactly where to go click. So, with that being said, his Braves lost. As we predicted. Atlanta. Yeah, getting them out of there. San Diego put them out, Rob. What went through your mind whenever they didn't even get to put up a fight? They ain't win one. They ain't make this a 3.
Didn't even pinch the bitch. Nah, man. Like, I was basically like, yeah, this is how this should be. Because, granted, Joe Musgrove is now out for the season, got Tommy John surgery and everything. But I'm like, this talent that's on this roster with San Diego, yeah, it was better. It was better than the Braves, who were, granted, like, hurt. Like losing Ronald Acuna Jr. And losing Spencer Strider is huge. Absolutely huge. But I was like, yeah, now this is how this is going to be. This team is much better. And yeah, it made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it did make a lot of sense. They're down right now. San Diego's down to LA 1-0. Like I said, I got LA going to the World Series. At the top of the bracket, I had the Brewers beating the Mets. Mets won 2 games, won. And the Mets look like they're trying to buzz on and give Philly some trouble. They're up 1-0 right now. Which we'll see the Mets and Philly play later today, and we'll see San Diego and LA play later today because we're recording this before this. I'm have it all up before that. This is going to be one of those things, bro. I feel like the Mets may be pulling a Giants move right now. And what I mean by that is, you remember whenever both times the Giants won the Super Bowl, they got hot at the right moment. And they rolled through. Lindy and the Mets got hot towards the end. They fought. They only lost one to the Brewers. Now they done gave Philly one, and we know Philly is a fucking buzzsaw.
Yep.
And they're up 1-0. I'm not saying that that's a for sure thing right now, but it's looking like this might be, like we always say in sports, you catch fire at the right time, and it is.
Yep.
We going through. We cutting through. And this might be that situation right here, even though I do have Philly beating the Mets. I don't know. How do you feel like this might work out?
Nah, I'm with you. Because, I mean, like, they are hot. And I was actually talking with the homie Alex, who's listening to our show. Like, what's good, Alex? This is, and I use that same analogy. Like, this team is a hot team, and they got a lot of talent. And Philly, yeah, absolutely great team, talented team. Like, number 2 seed. Yeah, they were the number 2 seed for a reason. But like, yeah, Mets are a lot right now, and I think that with what they have, and if they can carry it off, like especially with how they beat the Brewers, yeah, man, like this is a series it could go 7, could go a lot, but it also could be the Mets winning it all. Even though I got the Phillies and Phillies. See what I just said about the Orioles? See what I just said about them? That's coming for you. It's coming for you too. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't disappoint.
Don't make us hurt like twice, bro. Cause like the fucking goddamn Orioles.
Like
just the more I think about that shit, it was like I went to the casino and there was a bunch of black spots on the roulette wheel, and I was like, I can't mess with this shit. And it went and found them red spots twice and was like, you gonna mess with this shit. And I was like, how? Y'all had all of the talent. I was like, y'all got this. Y'all could beat Kansas City. Kansas City got a pretty decent team. You got one guy who could have really been up there, Bobby Witt Jr. And I'm like, okay, y'all could beat them. You know, maybe you might give up 1 to them, but you should beat them 2-1, and you went down 2-0. And
it's not like the Royals really was like an offensive onslaught. They only scored 3 runs that series.
That's what I'm saying.
So it ain't really shit. Like y'all just basically was like, nah, we don't want to hit no more. We hit enough during the season. We had enough spectacular offense through the season. We are absolutely done. And now y'all really done.
Look, y'all ain't gotta lie to me and Rob. Just let us know if y'all trying to go on vacation early, and y'all can let us know. Look, that y'all was trying to get out there to the islands early, before everything get packed up. We would have understood. You just give us a heads up. We would have been like, hey, bro, we ain't gonna believe in y'all this year.
Look, don't even look. They could have been like, hey, look, I know y'all filling out y'all brackets. I know what y'all trying to do. I know what y'all think y'all believe in. But for real, dog, like, look, Tulum is calling me. Tulum.
You could have told me that you was gonna go out here and sell these 2 games, bro, and just let me and Rob just say, look, Kansas City gonna make it, all right?
Yeah.
Kansas City gonna make it. Don't count us in. We going home. And Houston, I'm disappointed in y'all too.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah.
Because we just watched the showdown between y'all and the Texans last year. And then you come out here and lay this fucking goose egg and lose 2-0 to Detroit. Son, what's wrong with y'all?
Oh my goodness.
I'm not gonna do it to y'all. I'm not gonna do it to y'all.
He should though. He should though.
Cause it's like, what the fuck? What are y'all doing? Like, we was just there. Y'all was just right there. I got to watch one of the best series with y'all in the Rangers. I got to watch the Astros and the Rangers duke it out last year, and it was like, Rob, we watched them duke it out here, and it was amazing. And then y'all come out here and say, we tired, boss. We're going to go ahead and hang it up. Let Detroit roll on through to the next round. Let them get knocked off, and Cleveland could keep pushing after that. And
went from duking it out to duking.
Just like I said. Yeah, just look, like I said, if y'all gonna sell us up the river, just let me and Rob know ahead of time when we fill out the bracket.
Just a smidge, just telling us like, all right, dog, like, look, just change it up, just change it up, like believe in Detroit,
Look, I know that y'all get sponsored by Booking.com and T-Mobile. So look, y'all had to take the internet hotspot to the islands and then had already booked your trip on Booking.com because you just knew that you was about to sell me on this bracket. Y'all just knew that y'all was about to sell me on this bracket. But I digress.
Let's digress.
I digress. I'm not gonna let y'all do this to me because, like I said, I still got faith in it being a Cleveland LA World Series. Cleveland is just looking really good.
That's true.
That team is way better. And Yankees, even though y'all up 1 on Kansas City, I'm still expecting y'all to do Yankee shit. If not this round, next round.
Aaron, like real shit. Like Aaron Boone, Brian Cashman. How y'all still got y'all jobs, I do not know. Cause granted, Aaron Boone will basically win 100 games and go to first round exit. They made that first round bye, so it wasn't no excuse to basically be like, all right, the first round has happened, Aaron Boone. So you can move on and go on to basically do something else in the playoffs, because they will, those motherfuckers there.
Yeah. If y'all don't do it this round, I got Cleveland. Because y'all are Cleveland, I think this y'all were about what it was close to like a 50-50 split, I want to say, between Cleveland and New York this year.
Something like that.
When I went back and I looked. So I'm looking for Cleveland to try to put the brakes to y'all if y'all do make it out of this round against Kansas City. I'm looking for Cleveland to put the brakes to y'all. I'm looking for this to happen. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Yep.
Now, with us getting off our pedestals on baseball, we're going to step on another pedestal. And this is where I begin again my assault on my friend's team picks, as his college football team pick in Bama took a loss. Okay?
Yeah.
But right before I get to that, I know there's some of you people out there that are college football fans of the teams Bama, Michigan, Tennessee, Mizzou, and USC. All of them lost yesterday.
L's all around.
You get an L. You get an L.
You
You
get
get
an
an
L.
L.
You get an L.
You get an L. You get an L.
Hey, you over there.
All of y'all get
Take that L.
And it was glorious. Now, I'ma speak on this first. There was one particular person who at the beginning of the season, whenever I said if Bama comes out here and they shit the bed, that it could be a long season for them. And they were laughing. They were like, Bama's not going to shit the bed. And at first, it didn't look like they were going to shit the bed. But I would like to remind you guys of what happened yesterday, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and go over here to my screen. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this up right here.
Don't do that.
Bam. This is a picture of one of the infamous presidents of the United States. That is Jimmy Carter, okay? This is him the last time Vandy beat Alabama, okay? That man still looks vibrant right there, Rob.
Beautiful, actually.
He still looks vibrant. Okay? This is our bedridden 100-year-old President Jimmy Carter, who is still alive today, 40 years later. And do you know what Vandy did for him, Rob?
What up?
They upset Alabama for the first time in 40 years yesterday.
Oh.
I just had to show that to y'all. Because of how long it's been. Okay? That's how long it's been since Vandy had upset Alabama. And Rob, I loved every glorious minute of it. Matter of fact, I don't even have my cup in here, but I have a special cup that I'm going to start bringing out whenever Alabama uses, and it's going to have Roll Tide fans ears on it. And I'm going to sip from that because it tastes so good whenever y'all lose, how much I got to hear y'all mouth sometime during the regular season. And you can call me a Bama hater. I don't care. I don't care. Talk shit about the Cowboys all day. Think I care? No.
Nope.
And I tell the truth about them too. But it was glorious to watch this happen. And Vandy does this to them 40-35. What were your thoughts on this?
Oh, I couldn't take my eyes off of it. Like, when I turned on the game, I think it was like 23-7, I believe, with Vandy winning. And like, it was crazy because I'm thinking like, this is Vanderbilt. And I know like there's been talks with Diego Pavia, who, I think he could lose the rest of his games this year and still get a trophy. I mean, not a trophy, a statue with him at Vanderbilt. I mean, they still constructing that stadium, for God's sake. So they could, make room for it. Like right now, he just basically just draw his spot and be like, yeah, it's going to go right there, right by the food stand. And then basically, yeah, they can basically do that right now. And I wouldn't even blame them because, yeah, I mean, this was their first win against a top 5 team ever. Their first win against Bama since, those 2 pictures were up. So like this was like a monumental thing. And granted, Bama did try to come back, but it was still like, oh yeah, they were like, Vanderbilt was like, oh no, we're winning this game. We're taking this game. Well, no matter what, we're taking this game. So props to y'all, Vanderbilt. And I don't know where y'all goalpost is, but hopefully y'all put a low jack on it or something, just because y'all might need that sooner or later. But yeah, dog, it's absolutely crazy, like that win that they had. I was supposed to be watching Bad Blood yesterday, and I missed it because of that win. I just couldn't take my eyes off of it.
Do you guys know me and Rob were both trying to peep in because we watched multiple things to cover for you guys, and we could not focus on wrestling.
Nope.
Because of that game, and because of some other upsets which we're about to talk about, but because of that game, we not gonna talk Bad Blood. We all gonna talk something wrestling. But we not gonna talk.
Yeah,
because watching this was the beautiful train wreck.
Yep.
It was the beautiful train wreck. I could not take my eyes off of
Not at all.
because I knew what was about to happen. Now, Big Ten, Rob. Washington versus Michigan. What happened? What happened to Michigan?
Dog,
what happened?
Dog, they took that L right at the crib. Well, no, they was at Washington. So, but they took that L on the road. The Big Ten matchup. It's hard to say. It's hard to keep saying that, like when it comes to Washington and Michigan. Yeah. But Yeah, that Big Ten matchup, yeah, they basically took that L right there on the road. And the thing about like these losses is like they seeming like they coming off of like big wins. 'Cause I mean, Michigan had the big win against USC. I want to say it was last week or week before last. And you know, Georgia had the big win. I mean, Bama had the big win against Georgia. So it's like it's kind of crazy that like they go from these big wins to basically get these huge losses. And yeah, like it was, yeah, man, like I granted the playoffs are expanded, but it's like it's hard to say shit. Tennessee fucking lost yesterday, and like unranked Arkansas.
Did you see them rush the field?
Dog, they had to.
See them rush the field?
They had to.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you something, Tennessee. Y'all went scoreless the first half. Put up that 14 in the third, and it was 14-10. And I remember thinking, Tennessee being in the SEC, both of these teams, y'all ranked number 4.
Yep.
And I was thinking, I was like, look, if Arkansas pull this out, these people are going to go freaking wild because Tennessee is ranked number 4. And sure enough, 9 points later, and the clock clicking 0.
Tick, 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 tick.
Onto the field. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was like watching the Joker blow up crap in Gotham. And he knew that this was happening. And it was like, this is the one time Batman can't stop his ass. Because every piece of self-destruction of some of these big teams happened yesterday.
Yep.
They go down. You turn around, and then you look at Mizzou. Oh, Mizzou.
Was gripping sheets.
Oh, Mizzou.
All game.
Let me tell you something. The most wild thing that they could have said that would have sent me over the edge watching that game is if they would have said that they took Mizzou to a Diddy party. Because they got y'all at 41-10, my dog. Yes, SEC, we know that anything can happen in the SEC because it's the powerhouse. Right. This is the big conference. Everybody live. If you're playing SEC ball, you're balling with the best of them. It's how it started up. But it showed you 25 ranked Texas A&M went in them, and they told Mizzou, oh, you got that 9? Don't worry. 25 about to go ahead and take that 9 from you right now and went 41-10. Whenever they were up at half, Rob, I remember sitting here, and I was like, either Missouri about to pull out some shit in this second half, or Texas A&M about to walk y'all ass. It's one or the other about to happen.
It ain't gonna be both, right? But it's got to be one.
Yeah, one of these things about to happen. And whenever I watch Texas A&M say, oh, you got 7, we got 10 more this quarter.
Yep.
Oh, you got 3, don't worry, we got 7. We gonna make sure that y'all get him out of that.
Hold that.
Wegman had a great game. He was 18-22. Yeah, Wegman went stupid. Moss went stupid. He had 12 carries, 138, 3 touchdowns. I don't know what the fuck y'all were trying to do stopping him.
Yeah.
I saw him break a run, and I was like, you ain't catching that boy. You ain't catching that boy. What you gonna do? Let him run. Let him run. And they folded, bro. They folded. Everybody was folded. And look, USC, don't you think that we forgot about y'all?
Nope.
Don't you think that we forgot about y'all? USC, ranked number 11, feeling good. Ain't got no more Caleb Williams out there, baby. Ain't got him no more. 24-17 to Minnesota. That's another one, Big Ten.
This is so weird.
It was just...
Yeah.
It is. Big Ten is just weird. It's just weird. But it's one of them things, man. I loved yesterday. It was beautiful.
Yep.
It was beautiful. Even though I was praying to God that Miami would have lost. That was a close matchup. It was 39-38. That was a good game. That was a good game. I peeped that right there. Them versus California, ACC. But it was beautiful. And to me, I will say this, even though this wasn't a loss for Miami, I feel like Cam Ward kind of made a statement yesterday. 35 for 53, 437 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That was also
The boy
that was after the motherfucker almost threw the goddamn game away. That motherfucker was reckless and like he was telling two cities, motherfucker. Like,
look, I understand NFL like concerns about him, but whenever he booming, he booming. Whenever he busting, he might give you game away. But whenever he booming, he booming.
He's the black Josh Allen.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, he whenever he's on the up and up, bro, it's a serious situation to deal with. But boy, whenever shit is going south, and
the thing is with him though, it's like he does the like dumb and the reason why I say black Josh Allen, because like the one play where basically he was rolling to his right, he like is like 2 steps from the sideline and basically, you know, chooses to throw across his body for an interception. He's been doing that all season. He's been watching Josh Allen, like what Josh Allen did on Sunday Night Football, basically 2 steps from the sideline, throws it across his body downfield to, you know, Khalil Shakir, and it basically is like a 50-yard thing. That's what he felt like he had in his mind. He's like, I'm gonna throw this motherfucking ball and somebody's gonna get it. And somebody did get it, but it wasn't the somebody he wanted. And it's like, that's the concern. Yeah. It's like, motherfucker, just throw it away. God damn. Like, just make it the easier play on yourself so we ain't gotta be talking about you like this, dog.
Exactly. The fact that Miami scored 21 in the fourth and got this win was crazy.
Yeah, no, they
that was
Xavier Restrepo, that motherfucker that motherfucker earned the motherfucking check today that day.
Yeah. Like, he's 7 receptions, 163. He was on it.
Yeah.
He was definitely on it. It was great. It was great in college football. I'm telling you guys, some of the sports, look, if you got a wife that ain't letting you like watch some of this, you need to get you a couple extra TVs and just watch everything and be like, look, I'm gonna take over right now. Yeah. Because there's too many good ass sports going on right now.
Hit that cell phone.
It's going on right now. But we're gonna walk away from our pedestal of college football, and Visky, don't think that you know that we won't talk more about you losing.
It's turned into a Visky episode, ain't it? Because what we about to talk about?
Look,
to an extent,
he loves the Lakers. Okay, he loves the Lakers, and I don't know if you guys have been kind of paying attention to what's going on in Lakerland, because you know, Bronny is going to get his chance to play with his dad, LeBron. But me and Rob, the more that we've watched this, we feel like this has become less about Bronny playing with his dad and more about Bron playing with his son and Bron being in year 22 and everything else. I feel like he's starting to overshadow, and he's doing a lot of talking for his son and not letting his son actually talk enough. But man, you know what, Rob? Let's go ahead. I'm gonna let you start elaborating on
it. So like y'all been seeing like with all these things, like they had the media day for all the NBA teams recently, to include the Lakers, and so they had Bron doing interviews, they had Bronny doing some stuff. Like they have basically out there almost dog and pony show like. And so in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, hearing everybody say, hey, this is a great story. And I'm not saying it's not, for one, you got a guy that's playing, in his 22nd year and is still one of the best players in all of the NBA. So that's one part of it. But two, he is playing with his son, who was born when he basically came into the league. So it's not as if like, this is something that I'm like, oh, there is nothing that can be gleaned nicely from this. But what I will say is that as time's going on and as these things have happened, Bronny has felt more like a prop than an NBA player.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like, okay, now the prop's here. Bronny is here to basically be that son to play in the league with his dad. Not necessarily that, hey, Bronny is making it to the league. And I know like everybody's like, well, he can't score, this and that. He's an undersized guard. He got a lot of athletic ability. So like he's shown that in the summer league. Yeah. And I know he just did it in this preseason game. The scoring is going to come. But he also is showing that he's going to look like, a very pliable player that's going to be able to be used. The thing about it is though, like everything has been aimed at, hey, LeBron, you're playing with your son. You're getting to do this in this time. Not necessarily more about, hey, Bronny, you died a year or two ago. You would basically come in and now you're on an NBA roster. What have you thought about how things have come with you? And Bronny is, it's just basically this dude has felt a lot more like, hey, go be there, play with your daddy, and we'll figure out everything after that. Not, hey, you're a grown ass man that's basically being able to play into the league that you've been probably trying to get to since you were born because you saw your pops play in this league since you were born. So like that's the thing that's kind of like screwy with a lot of this shit, and kind of where I'm a little bit more out of it than what I was before, because yeah, man, he's a grown ass man and he's now used as a prop. Like it's not a great look, it's not a great feel. But yeah, man, it's weird. That's what I would say.
Yeah, it is starting to feel weird, and I feel like it's not. We're not letting him be. I feel like he's not being a part of this moment enough.
No,
like it's all LeBron, and we understand LeBron's greatness. We done watched him 22 years, bro.
Yeah,
but I want his son to talk now.
Yep.
I want it to not be him sitting there, not really talking much,
Yep.
and LeBron doing all of the talking. Like, I almost feel like they've had a talk before all of this, and it's like, look, you gonna answer a little bit of stuff, but I'm gonna kind of answer majority of this, and I'm gonna sit here
I'm gonna carry this, like this is about me.
You sit here, smile, look at the camera, stuff like that, wave. I'm gonna talk, and I kind of don't like it because in the beginning I was like, this is gonna be a great thing. It's like Ken Griffey Jr. and Senior, and now it's more like, look, you sit here, I'm gonna talk, and we're gonna work through this like this.
It's more like Air Bud. Like, it's like, not, and look, I'm not saying that Bronny is a golden retriever. He is not. But it's like, hey, this is what got me here. And as far as who I am in LeBron, this is what I've made to be. Like, I made an NBA player, and it's right here playing with me. But it's just like, yeah, like this, he's going to roll around. He's going to basically do some stuff. And then whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Not necessarily, hey, here's who I'm bringing under my wing to be the next player, not just great player, but just like the next player, good pro in this league. Like, that's where it's kind of weird, like it should be. And I don't know how much he's doing. I don't know. And I say I don't know a lot about this, but it's like, I don't know if basically Bron is like, hey, son, this is what needs to happen. This is what needs to go on here. But it doesn't seem outwardly that that's happening. So it needs to at least a little bit more that's happening. So
yeah, I'm gonna need this to kind of click for him. But hey, maybe we'll get this going. Yep. But now we're gonna go away from Bronny, and because we didn't watch Bad Blood, you guys, sorry.
I mean,
like, it was a beautiful train wreck going on in college football. Again.
So much.
Couldn't look away. I just couldn't look away. Yeah. But with that being said, now we must talk a little WWE. And I wanted to talk with this with Rob because it's a couple things that we love in wrestling and we all have great memories, okay? So, first thing, Rob, I wanted to talk favorite WWE moments.
Oh, man. So I would say recently I think I said like these last Monster Standings, like one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life. Like, it was just like pure chaos. And it was kind of like how, like, I remember watching Chikara, like, in wrestling, like, a long time ago. It felt kind of like that, where it's like, hey, here's these monsters, here's this land, and they're basically going to fight, and everything like that. Other moments, I would say, I loved Cesaro versus Sami Zayn on NXT, best 2 out of 3. That was like what got me into like really getting into NXT. I'm trying to think what other moments. Sasha and Bianca at WrestleMania, like that was a really cool moment. Kofi Mania, that was another really cool moment. But yeah, I'm trying to think of some other ones. But what's ones that you got on your mind? Like,
So it's a list of things that go through, and this is how you're gonna say this dude has been watching wrestling probably too long. So I'm gonna start. More recently, I'm gonna definitely agree with Rob, the last monster standing. I definitely love Cesaro. I love Cesaro not only as a wrestling character, but as a person. But what he's done in the ring, just anything with him, the king of swing and stuff like that. And then I loved Cena's runs, Dr. Thugonomics. Whenever he FU'd the Big Show and the whole ring jiggled and shit like that. Mark Henry them snapping the ring. I loved a crap ton of the Attitude Era stuff. I don't know if you guys remember. Some of y'all may not have watched this, but if you've never seen whenever Booker T and Stone Cold had the fight that went, he's chasing him and he chased him in the church.
Oh yeah.
And he beat him in the confessional, and it led to the grocery store and everywhere. That was some of the craziest stuff that I've ever watched. Whether it be the storyline where they were going to cut off Val Venus's
choppy pee pee.
Yeah, choppy pee. It was so much stuff that I have watched from wrestling. I can even tell you whenever I watched Undertaker, whenever he was Purple Glove Undertaker choke slamming people out there with the two versions of him, and I can even tell you whenever him and Yokozuna went at it. I can tell you watching British Bulldog and that was that British Bulldog wrestling. I can tell you Bret Hart. Let's talk Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, that epic thing that led up to the Montreal Screwjob. It is just so much that I remember and I loved about wrestling, and I still love about wrestling. Hell, I passed the New Day. The formation of the New Day was a great moment to me, with these coming together with like the spiritual, it's a new day, yes it is, coming together. And even now with them starting to break apart and disassemble this, it's just so much that I've watched in wrestling and I love it. I feel like wrestling has been a huge part. But with that being said, I started thinking, and I was like, I gotta ask Rob this. Being the fact that we just watched the McMahon documentary, 6 parts on Netflix, you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Yep.
Do you think that we could ever see a villain as big as Mr. McMahon was?
No. Because there was a lot that went into the villain, like the kayfabe, in wrestling villain that Mr. McMahon was. For one, he was an authority figure, and so there's not a ton of authority figures that wants to be front facing on screen. You got Triple H, but he won't be that. 2, he did a lot of just like shit that, like, in the doc you saw, like, he tried to pull incest angles. He tried to fight God, or he had a match with God. Went in church, basically was, pulling holy water. Like, he did a lot of like outrageous shit that it was like nobody's gonna ever want to do all of that. Like, his whole thing, and that's what a lot of the documentary covered, is that his whole thing was like, I'm putting this whole thing first. Whatever it is, I don't give a fuck who you are, what you are, how you are. I'm putting this thing first because this is what I love. And this is everything to me. This is all I ever want. And because he said it, like, I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be a wrestler. I always wanted to do these things. And so when he got the opportunity and basically made it happen, like with Screw Brett and all that, like, yeah, that's how that happened. And then 3, I don't think you'll have somebody that can bounce off a magnanimous babyface like Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was really more anti-hero than babyface or a good guy. Yeah. But it was just like, you don't really have somebody that you could bounce off that and also propel a star like The Rock and basically put him into superstardom. I don't think you will have that collection of talent. It's like 90s NBA. It's like it's hard to get that collection of talent at one time where all of, like, if you put each of those talents like Mankind, The Rock, Stone Cold into other periods, they would dominate that era. They all dominated in like a 3-year span, really. You know, like all them three, Kurt Angle, Undertaker, Triple H, all these cats basically had like a run that was within like a 3-year frame, essentially. And so, no, I think when it comes to Vince, it's so hard to basically capture how great a character the Mr. McMahon character was and what it was in WWE. Not counting what he actually did in life, but like, there'll never be anybody close to that. Like, he's the greatest villain.
Yeah.
He's the greatest character. He's the greatest promoter. He's the greatest mind in wrestling. Like, I think everything, all of what he did to make everything what we see now is important, and what is going to be his legacy, along with the sexual assaults, the rapes, the incest angles, all these different things that basically made him what he was also as well.
Now, I have one more thing that I want to talk about before we get out of here that's talking about wrestling. Do you ever think that we can turn back the eras a little bit and capture some of the magic? And this is what I mean. We talked the ability of we never seen the collection of talent. Now, I'm going to say this. I feel like we have a lot of talented wrestlers now. Talented wrestlers. But the guys in the Ruthless Aggression and Attitude Era, these are the two eras that I hold nearest and dearest to my heart.
Right.
Okay? And the reason is, it wasn't just their wrestling ability, or if you talk about Cena, some people say his lack of wrestling ability. It was their ability to get over.
Yeah.
Their ability to go out there and grab the crowd. Their ability to make you invest into what's going on in the story.
Right.
Their ability to be their character. Like Randy Orton is the Viper.
Yep.
Batista was the animal. Triple H was the game. Evolution was a stable of men that got shit done. They were the second coming of like the Four Horsemen to me.
Right.
Because Rick was there. And then you had the people in the Attitude Era of the Stone Colds, the Mankinds, the Rocks, and all of these guys were there. Hell, Booker T and them came in there and did good. Jericho was there with all of his shenanigans. You don't sit and think, because whenever most people think Attitude Era, they think, oh, we're going to say Stone Cold, Rock, and maybe Vince McMahon, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about all of the other people that were there, like the Mankinds, Kane was born during this time. Jericho with Booker T and them came over during this time. And then the passing of the torch, rest in peace to a man who we never know what really went through his mind, but some of the torches would be passed on to the guys who came through with the Radicals, with Eddie Guerrero being a champion later on. Yep. in the next era in Ruthless Aggression. Chris Benoit held the championship at one point during it. You had guys that they were great wrestlers. They could still speak and work the mic. They had great angles. I lie, I cheat, I still will forever be something that I will never forget.
Yep.
Because of how Eddie did it. Rey Mysterio was in that era. He was even a champion back then. I think that we may have the talent, wrestling wise right now, but they don't have the chops and the ability to get over with these guys and get into the crowd like they're used to.
Yeah. So what I would say is, I think the difference when it comes to those guys and like these newer era cats is that those guys absorbed themselves into what their craft was. Undertaker absorbed himself into his craft. The Rock absorbed himself into his craft. Stone Cold, John Cena, all those guys, Mankind, absorbed themselves into their craft, and These guys aren't doing that as much. They see this as more of a job than what the character calls for. And they you can see like the glimpses and like the different things of like, oh no, you're saying these roles. You don't believe it. Like Austin Theory is a guy that is what I would say does this the most. He says a lot of shit, but he don't seem like he feels a lot of what he does. He's getting better, but like he says things. Like Grayson Waller seems like he believes all the shit that he talking about. And I think that's the thing that when it comes to these guys getting the crowd, like Kevin Owens is always the marker or always the example. I tell people like that's the dude, like what people should look at. And if you're trying to get into wrestling, that's what you should mimic and use as your like template. Because that man absorbs himself into his craft, absorbs himself into his role, gets the crowd going, does little things that make you pay attention to his matches because you want to make sure you don't miss the little things that he does. You know, that's what I think is the problem. And I mean, and right now I'm speaking this, we're both fans. We're speaking this from fans' perspective.
Yeah.
We're not wrestlers, never basically cut a promo, never did any of that shit. But the thing about it is, been watching a while. And the thing that I remember looking back at those old clips of the Eddie Guerreros, of the Kurt Angles, like when it comes to
even Angle, man,
like these motherfuckers were like, this is me. I am Kurt Angle, the the three eyes, intelligent, intensity, and integrity. Like I basically am that. That's who I am. And he absorbed himself. He wasn't just speaking his lines. He, when he puts on the small cowboy hat and, what people call embarrassing himself, he's like, yippee-yo-ki-yay. Like he says that shit. Like it's not I'm embarrassing my character. It's like, no, I'll get in the ring and beat somebody's ass. But while I'm out of the ring and being a character and being a comedic act, I'm going to really be a comedic act. And that's what has to be done. And so hopefully it gets to the point where these guys like get more into their roles and really see themselves as far as like really like wrestlers. But nah, man, it's just they don't try as hard and they don't try to get themselves into their characters as much as like a actor would, because we all seen TV, we see movies. When we see a motherfucker mailing it in, it shows versus somebody that's really big into their roles. Like that's what has to basically be it. It's not, this role is beneath me. This role is the role you got. You better bloom where you planted if you want to get some more. So you got to basically do your goddamn thing. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we do. And I want to say this before we get about it. We want y'all to believe in yourselves and absorb yourself in a role, because whether you think this is just a job now, the ones before you have shown how much it pays off. Rock, ton of movies. Cena doing movies. Batista doing movies. Miz has even had some acting here and there. If you absorb yourself and it shows, Hollywood is gonna call.
Yep.
And everything that you did in wrestling is gonna pay off tenfold in Hollywood. Just look at your Cena, look at your Rocks, look at your Dave Batista. Batista is maybe the worst, quote unquote. He's done the worst out of those three, quote unquote. And his worst looks pretty goddamn good, okay? And he's still making more movies. I just want you guys to think about that. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to wrap up this episode of BrahMigos Podcast. You already know it's Price and Rob. We're about to get up out of here. Rob, go ahead and take us out.
Good night, Canada. Good night, Taylor Smith. Thanks for joining us on another great episode of BrahMigos Podcast. Like, we love doing this for y'all. We love coming out here and yelling and calling people frauds. Like, this is a favorite of ours. Of course, go get you some Dubby. DUBBY Delta uniform Bravo Yankee for my phonetic friends. Like, go get you some W. Use BrahMigos Podcast. BrahMigos Pod, excuse me. When you do, get a 10% off discount. You deserve it. We deserve it because you deserve it. But that's what you need to do. Go get you that discount. Go get you some W. Nice, great products. I just ordered me some more. Got some more hydration stuff coming in. So yeah, can't wait for it to come in. But get you some W. Grab you that
with
dub.
With that being said, we out of here. Peace.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the BrahMigos podcast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.